we made a film about baseball in Manipur. That's about as universal as you can get. I mean, most people don't know Manipur, most people don't know baseball, and yet there's a film that talks about a variety of issues that should be completely out of context that touches people.
It's the only way for people from far away to know what's happening there, and also because you have to make a story into something that works for people emotionally. You have to condense things and reinterpret them and take a deeper truth than what you might just see, from events. You have to find another truth inside what were the events of the story. So it's a great opportunity as a filmmaker. It's a gift, a story like this, even with all of its difficulties. It's a cinematic gift to have this kind of problem and to try to make something wonderful out of it if you can.
I hope that from this film there will be a lot of more interest in Manipur, which is a very neglected state, and that especially other Indians will learn more about Manipur and will visit Manipur and help them in many ways because they have a lot of problems.
The community was there. This is a community of people who love the game of baseball and have been playing for years before Muriel and the group that she went with discovered that they were there, and before we came back to sort of join their effort. But the idea was to bring this into the light and to support them and hopefully to shed light on them so that the world knows them better and understands their community. And what's universal about it is that you discover that people in a place that's so unknown want exactly what people in other places want. They want better things for their kids. They want joy. They want possibility, education, jobs, the chance to have a creative life or a sports life because they're good at it and they love it. And that's largely been an obstacle there. So they want what everyone wants, and they're wonderful caretakers of their own tradition, just like other people are. So that's very important. One of the things Manipuris really understand and love about the game is they're great athletes, and so they love the fact that it's competition. But I think more than perhaps other games, it's also about teamwork and cooperation. So it's not a war game, it's a peace game, and it's a game of cohesion and individual excellence, but the team. And they connect to that. They really understand that. Everybody has strengths as a storyteller, and I think sometimes over time you discover what those strengths are. There are films I shouldn't make and I probably wouldn't want to make, and then there are other films where you just know you've connected and that's your story. And then you have to be willing to tell a different story than you thought you were going to tell because things work out differently. So you constantly have to be testing the idea and loving the idea.
I think in 82 minutes we were able to get into a place that's very remote. You got inside the lives of 10, 12 characters and got to know them. You learned the history of this region, the challenges that they're facing now, kind of the geopolitical situation between India, Manipur, and so on. So, I mean, it's the one medium where you can fit in so much information and tell a story and weave it together in a compact space and time thing. So it just works so well for something like this.
You know, some people did not want to speak. The ones who did were very brave and very open and very frank about their lives and their hopes, their fears. And I am still, every day, I'm moved by what they did and what they were willing to do. Because I think it's a great release for them to be able to do this. They want to be able to do this, and hopefully it's because they trusted us and we wanted to earn that trust and to honor it.
We're a little disappointed we didn't have a bigger audience, but we think the audience that was there seemed to react very positively.
The film has been at other festivals and has had wonderful audiences, and We had sold-out screenings at the New York Indian Film Festival, and we won Best Documentary. So the response has been very good. And actually in the press, which just comes out of wherever it comes out of, the press has been enormously enthusiastic about this film. So we hope it will have an impact and will help us find audiences. We want that.
I think when we often talk about troubled situations, we're looking at what's wrong with the situation, and this is a story where we found something that was working well, and we wanted to really recognize that, and that they're the source of their own lives and possibilities and hope, as opposed to looking at what we can fix. So I think that's one of the big things for us in this.
I think that was very well put, Uday. You're smarter than I thought.
You really have to be a little crazy, and filmmakers should be crazy and obsessive. You have to be a little type A, but you also have to be able to totally improvise, drop everything, and just be in the moment. And so it's a kind of dance between completely being in the moment and then being as stubborn as a mule and resourceful and relentless and, as Mike said, perseverant. It's a funny kind of split personality, but I think that's what it takes, and you have to trust it. Don't let people tell you not to behave that way. You really have to trust that.
I want to say one more thing to the young filmmakers. Do what you love. If you don't love it, it's too much. It's very hard work to make a film. You have to put yourself completely into it. So be sure it's a story you really would love to tell.